Vishwa Shanti Darshan congratulates the winners of 19th Bharat Asmita National Award 2023 presented by the एमआईटी World Peace University. एमआईटी विश्व शांति विश्वविद्यालय, भारत अस्मिता फाउंडेशन और एमआईटी स्कूल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट द्वारा भारत अस्मिता राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार 2023 के समारोह में एमआईटी वर्ल्ड पीस यूनिवर्सिटी के संस्थापक अध्यक्ष प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर विश्वनाथ दा कराड समारोह के अध्यक्ष स्थान पर थे। इस अवसर पर एमआईटी वर्ल्ड पीस यूनिवर्सिटी के कार्यकारी अध्यक्ष तथा भारत अस्मिता राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार समिति के संयोजक राहुल विश्वनाथ कराड, कुलपति डॉक्टर आर.एम. चिटनिस और प्रो वाइस चांसलर डॉक्टर सपन पांडा उपस्थित थे। माता एक प्रकृति निर्मित संगठन है। भारत के आर्थिक विकास और राष्ट्र निर्माण में महिलाओं की बहुत बड़ी भागीदारी है। भारतीय संस्कृति महिलाओं का सम्मान करती है। रॉकेट वुमेन और वरिष्ठ वैज्ञानिक डॉक्टर रितु करिधाल को भारत अस्मिता विज्ञान प्रौद्योगिकी श्रेष्ठता पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया गया। डॉक्टर रितु करिधाल के अनुसार,
I should say I indeed very delighted to know the achievements and vastness of MIT. I was just going through the achievements of MIT across so many fields, science, arts, governance, films, facilitating the growth of brilliant minds, a true service they are giving towards a bright future of our nation. Thank you very much. I belong to the field of space science. And with so many students here also and all the August gathering, maybe I feel that it's like I can share a few of the challenging moments of our journey from Earth to Mars. So should I say something on those challenging moments? We know that for the space science, the history goes right back to 1960s under the vision of our great physicist, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, whose vision was to use the space science to solve the real problems of man and society. And then we had our first satellite, Aryabhatta, in 1975. Subsequently, we made much more sophisticated rockets and satellites. And then I remember in those my childhood days when I was a student, I used to collect, a lot of, at that time we were not having this online and Google and all those things, the newspapers, even the minutest activities of ISRO or NASA. So collecting those, cutting those news articles, keeping it in my archive was one of my hobbies. And then a day I got intimation that I have to join, got selected and have to join one of the leading centers of ISRO in Bangalore. 25 years ago, sending their daughter so far, it was not an easy decision for my parents at that time. The distance at that time was not just measured in kilometers. It's like 2,000 kilometers odd. It was distance measured in number of days. It used to take 2.5 days. Instead of 2,000 kilometers, it was 2.5 days it used to take. Now we just get in the flight and come, and it's just 2.5 hours. And that time, taking this decision, allowing me to go to unknown far place, I really thank my parents, who have shown that utmost confidence and allowed me to go so far. This is what I wanted to say to all parents. What is more important? The best inspiration for a student, for a child, is the motivation or the encouragement what the parents give, and also what the teachers give. Yes, I joined ISRO. I got many opportunities to work for many prestigious missions, but then mission to work for Mars Orbiter mission, it was a very challenging. Why? Because this was the first time we had this mission. We did not have any heritage of going to interplanetary. What does interplanetary means? We all belong to Earth, but now we had to go beyond Earth's gravity, beyond Earth's regime, we had to go. And we were not knowing, we did not have any heritage of what the technology, how to go, what are the, trajectory to follow. But then, and what the most important, the most challenging part, with all that, we had to realize this mission in just short time of 18 months. So for any interplanetary mission, why it's also more important, just want to give one example if the time permits. See, as the distance increases, for any signal, when you have to send something in the interplanetary area or beyond the Earth regime, as the distance increases, the to and fro time also increases. Presently what we do, if we have to switch on a bulb, we will just switch on a button and the bulb will come on. But imagine that when you have to give some signal, it will take 20 minutes of time to reach for the satellite, to reach that signal, and then 20 more minutes time to understand whether really at that distance the bulb has come on or not. Like a 40 minutes huge time delay. What it meant? It meant that we had to build a system with utmost autonomy. What autonomy means? A system which is capable of doing self-diagnostics. It is also capable of finding its own problems without depending upon any human intervention. And then also, after finding, it should be able to correct itself. It should be able to execute all the instructions with highest precision, because any minutest error will fully jeopardize the mission. And at that time, out of around some 51 missions, only 21 missions were successful. Success rate was less than 50%. Then we had taken this task, and being the project manager with my team, we used to have a lot of brainstorming sessions with all engineers of all fields, that is electronics, electrical, mechanical, and then hours together we used to do those brainstorming, and then the full draft of autonomy was made. Thousands of lines of codes were written, they were tested, they were reviewed and implemented. Everything was done in just mere 10 months of time. It was something very much seemed to be impossible, but we could achieve it. We could achieve it because we worked as a full cohesive team who have given, each and every one was the part of that higher goal. They worked for it, and we could achieve that. Yes, after we had a very successful liftoff, the satellite was in orbit, the Mars Orbiter mission, and then after rotating few rounds of Earth, taking rounds of Earth, we had to travel a huge distance of 600 millions of kilometers. And in those while traveling that distance, we had to ensure that satellite reaches the Mars without any problem. So that was really a feat achieved at that time, because what was most important for any interplanetary mission is when you go out of Earth, the direction where you leave, the cruise direction, what you achieve, it demanded some 99% of performance. And that was the performance which could be achieved the first time in any ISRO mission for any Mars mission. And then the duration of leaving the Earth and then going towards Mars, 10 months of time. We reached very near to Mars, say 500 kilometers away we were there. But then reaching near to Mars is not achieving the project or mission. We had to rotate around Mars. It means we had to do a very important activity or a maneuver. You have to push the satellite into the gravity well of Mars. It's called Mars orbit insertion. It is one-time event. If you miss it, you lose it. There is no second chance. And being the Deputy Operations Director, with my team, was responsible to ensure that all those activities, all those operations are taken place as per set instructions. The D-Day, I still remember, whenever I remember, it's all very much become so attached to that. So on that day, yes, first signal we received, and we were knowing, yes, the on-board computers are working fine. So everything was going as per plan. 21 minutes later, we saw the engine was firing. That was the important activity because the engine has to fire after sleeping for 10 months of time. It had to fire. It fired as expected. And yes, after 4 minutes, what happened? The data was not there. Data was lost. What happened? Actually, the satellite has gone behind the planet Mars, from where no data can reach Earth. So those 26 minutes of complete silence, all our eyes were glued to the screen, waiting for the data to come back. And I remember at 8 a.m. around, the history was made. The Mars Orbiter mission, the Mangalyaan, achieved the Martian orbit. This was first of its kind because this was the first mission which could reach Mars, attain success in its first attempt. It was the mission which realized in shortest time of 18 months and very low cost project. And one most important thing, the women and the men scientists, the participation of women and men were equal. They worked together. They worked together to achieve this feat. And yes, I know this lot of huge data we have got from Mangalyaan. The data analysis and all that is going on, and we will be able to know more. Already a lot of activities, a lot of papers and a lot of discoveries have happened. And then I feel the most important part which this type of missions are doing is, inspiring the young students, every Indian, creating an awe and fervor towards science and making us realize the inherent power of Indians to reach a far planet and showing to the world we are second to none. Thank you.